So we're live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast, and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the other host, Paul. And actually, I was going to say something really intuitive and fun, but I am absolutely knackered because the heat is killing me today.
We're melting.
We're melting. But yes, we are joined by the wonderful Jake and the luscious, luxurious, beautiful, sexy, the man that has all the sex in the world. That is Captain Goodwill.
I'm not Zoidberg.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow, guys. So yes, get all the quotes out is. So we are back, and again, it's not a top 5, so it's like a little bit of a breather from them. So it'll not be 3 hours, and Sarah's not on, bless her. But yes, so this episode we are going to be talking about the amazing and quite pop culture reinventing, shall we say? But like I say, quite a simple story. We'll break it down. But yes, Futurama. As you can see, Sammy has this the spaceship flying across the Planet Express flying across her face.
Oh, there it is. I've just seen it.
But yes,
I think I'm inside of Fry right about now.
Oh dear. so many pop culture references we're going to be getting out today. But yes, Sammy, do you want to do your bit? Because you always do your bit.
Yes, I do. Am I doing me bit or me just regular disclaimer bit?
You can do both. We'll let you do both.
Yay!
Do one
Hey. And also hello to the chat. Yes, Beth, I see you. You've said it twice now with your names. I do appreciate it.
We're still Pammy Ower.
We're still Pammy, yeah.
At least I come first. That's saying something.
Oh my.
Well, you are older than me. Anyways.
What's that got to do with it?
Shots fired.
I don't know. It's one of those nights. It's too.
Just be happy with my age. I'm getting it up, to be fair.
I've got nothing to add to that.
Goodwill's looking scared.
Goodwill. He's an important question. Just how are you doing? And also, what you've been watching?
Futurama. I have actually tried to be watching it again because I've not seen it in so long.
Oh, I haven't watched it for years. I'm just hoping my memory bank kind of kicks in, and I'm like, oh my god, core memory unlocked.
Yes.
No, how are you guys doing? Are you all right?
No, it's warm. It's not. It's been a fun day. It's been a fun day with some fun guys. Yes.
Yeah. Paul's had fresh air, everyone. Be careful.
It's gone to his head already.
I've had a fun day in bed asleep. Oh yeah.
After a night of having your face putting on pants by the wonderful Donna.
Why did you?
The Discord channels got out of control.
Oh, please, no pants. No
it's now Lee's kingdom. we can't do anything about it.
It's the world has come crazy. It's like if Zoidberg took over and this is what's happened.
And I'm his friend Jesus.
Apart from Futurama, have you watched anything interesting this week?
I mean, at the sort of, not to like rehash old territory, but I've been watching some of The Last of Us finally because I got myself a little Now TV subscription.
All right. How are you finding it? Because I know you were quite scared because you're like an avid fan of the game type thing.
Yeah, I was like, I've had enough of that story. I haven't even checked out 2 because everyone was like, oh, it's like super mean-spirited, like the entire kind of game.
Paul put me off it straight away. I'm like, I'm not interested now.
But no, like I like it. It's like a lot grosser than I was expecting, like with all the horrible like tendril stuff that's going on in the first couple of episodes. Like I don't know what it is, but like I'm never a fan of like creeping up on the autopsy table and something horrible is going to happen. Like I don't know why.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know why
like
it makes me. I know it just makes me feel like defenseless because I'm like, I know there's going to be a jump scare and I can't do anything about it. The camera's just going to be here. But yeah, it's not. It's I've had a couple of times where I've been eating me tea and I'm like, I don't like things coming out of people's mouths.
Well, you see, it's your fault for having food.
Yeah, true. But no,
Just remember, don't eat next time you watch it.
Like I really like the chaos they've been able to like have like those scenes. You can tell like the money went into that kind of thing. Like when that like plane crashes in the start and just everyone's like screaming, running around the town. I don't think I've ever seen like a zombie sort of apocalypse kickoff in that exact way before, and I was a fan.
That's cool. I'll admit something that I've never admitted yet. I have not finished it.
Shocker.
Because I knew I couldn't make the episode. I was like, just take the pressure off, as I don't have to. Like, I haven't finished it yet.
I'll take those hours back.
So yeah, I haven't finished it, but I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine again on the fucking third go round.
Sammy is a creature of habit. She will never change.
It's just, honestly, it's one of those things. It's just comfort. That's all it is. It's just like on a nighttime when we're literally like zoning out. We've been putting them on in the background. But I did watch the Anna Nicole Smith documentary that's on Netflix. That was really interesting. I am, and I don't understand why, but I am a huge fan of Anna Nicole Smith. I have such admiration for that woman. And this documentary was I was worried because with it being Netflix, I was like, that's gonna Pam and Tommy really, type thing. Yeah, they're gonna do her fucking dirty, and they generally didn't. They showed a lot of respect, and they actually showed a true side of it, because she will divide opinions. Massively, but it was a really good watch, and I felt like they did her well. And I've also started Good Omens.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
So because the second season's coming soon, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's one of my mum's favorites. Didn't know it was Terry Pratchett. Yeah. Generally thought it was Neil Gaiman.
It is. It's Terry. It's both.
See, that's not how it was described online. It was it was Neil Gaiman's taking Terry Pratchett's work and putting it to screen.
No, it's
that's
both.
how I read it, but I didn't.
No, both of them wrote the book, I believe. It's like a combination.
A combination. Well, I watched the first episode and thought, oh, okay, this is something that Anth would actually really like, so I stopped watching it. So we're going to watch it together. The concept of it's brilliant. Them two are absolute dynamite together.
Oh, it's one of the best pairing I've seen in a long time, David Tennant and
for some reason it never appealed to me, but if everyone's saying it's like that great,
it's just them two, Jake. Like the story of it is pretty big. It's very Omenish, like obviously Good Omens, but it is very. And Omen is probably one of my favorite films, even though I never normally mention it. I watch it constantly. So it gives us them kind of vibes. But it's just them two. There's just something so magic about them.
Yeah.
They really complement each other.
No, I think David Tennant will, say, when he gets out of the shadow of Doctor Who, will probably be one of the biggest actors going, just because anything he's in just elevates the product. Like Jessica Jones, when he was in that as the Purple Man. Oh my
God.
One of the most sinister and terrifying bad guys in Marvel. I think we talked about it last week.
We did. He's more scary than Thanos. What he can do to people is like Thanos just wanted to wipe out half. He wanted to completely take over, take over a person. It is terrifying how the manipulation from him in that series. But Sheen, I've been a huge fan of Michael Sheen for forever. That man can just play people like no other. I think when Frost Nixon came out, I watched it nearly every day for about 6 months. I just love him. I know it's a lot. It's a lot. I learned a lot about Watergate in that 6 months.
Yeah. It actually comes up in Futurama as well.
One context. What about you, Goodwill? Other than the Trek, what have you been watching?
Oh God, nothing.
He's been watching horrible first season Star Trek. Next Generation.
Jesus, don't remember.
I remember that episode.
That fucking gong. That's all I heard all week.
But it was the big man from Twin
Space.
Peaks.
Yeah, it's actually Lurch from the Addams Family movies. So he was nicknamed Space Lurch. Because it's literally just Space Lurch. But apart from that, really, not a lot. I've been working quite a lot this week, so it's just been much like Sammy, where you just go over the old stuff. It's essentially just been Mystery Science Theater 3000 on loop all day, every day, and it's like it's like, oh, this is from 1988. This is Felicia Day's one. This is Mike Nelson one. And I've just watched and watched and watched. You know, everyone has that comfort show. MST3K is just that one where you can just watch and watch and watch the same episode. And you're happy.
I get that because obviously I'm on the third run of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but we do that so if we stop watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine tomorrow, the likelihood is it's going to be Always Sunny that goes on next, and we'll start from the beginning, we'll get to the end, and then we'll go back to the beginning again. And we do it all the time. We don't switch between Brooklyn Nine-Nine, me with The Office, because I can do that with The Office countless amount of times, and Always Sunny. Comfort. It's just comfort. It's just having familiar voices on in the background.
Well, sometimes you just need that.
Yes. Well, talking about comfort, because as everyone knows, I watch The Goonies 24 hours every day for 2 days. Like, I watch it at least three times a day, because The Goonies is life. And I did notice something new today
as well.
You noticed something new.
Noticed something new today on The Goonies. Yes. So as of last week, we got the lovely Christopher. So I'll put up his picture there. It's still there, so it'll appear on the thing from last week where Christopher is doing the truffle shuffle. Looks beautiful.
I totally forgot he cameoed in that movie.
Yeah, so he played a brilliant part. I have noticed as well 2 other cameos as well. So I'll get Christopher's picture gone. There's 2 other new people in the Goonies as well, so I'll put their pictures up.
God.
She's got to kill us.
He's proper committed to that truffle shuffle, isn't he, Christopher?
So now,
oh God, what have you done?
We have got the wonderful Sarah Peach and Lee in what can only be described as one of the greatest sexual tension scenes that I've ever seen, where Lee's looking all smoldering towards the camera, going, why is this girl keep on trying to lick me? So yes, so Sarah and Lee were actually part of the Goonies as well, which just blew my mind. So again, it's finding out new things. So I'll continue to watch the Goonies, and I'll continue to find these little fuckers who keep trying to disparage and say anything negative about the Goonies, and we will see them return.
I'm just looking the comments coming in, and Lee, where's Sarah? Is Sarah not even here?
Sarah's at a gig tonight as well, bless her, so she'll have to
catch up. Yeah.
So yes.
Oh my God.
So the Goonies is life, guys. Never forget that you're all Goonies. And
Paul will find you.
Never say die.
No one is safe from the Goonies.
That is so funny.
So I like my new little bit there.
I love it. It's getting over better than mine. Have you watched anything of interest? Because we know you watch some.
I've been knackered this week, to be honest. Everything that's been going on and all the hard work that's been going on the back scenes. Just to let everyone in the chat know that Sammy is hopefully going to be on the BBC again, so she'll be a voice of the BBC promoting Trekking and Munsters, which is starting to. Well, not starting, it's taken off and it's really enjoyable to watch. I watched Goodwill on Friday and I just laughed all the way through it. It was, but that might have been just Graham.
It's not a comedy.
Graham trying to derail and disparage anything that Goodwill was doing. It was like, let's take this apart, and Goodwill's all, I'm structured, make this the way it is. But yeah. But it was hilarious.
If you do enjoy Graham, he is on this week's episode of Monsters as well. So
yes,
yeah.
But yes, I this week had nothing too weird. I did watch Taskmaster, and I'm a big fan of Taskmaster. This season's been a little bit hit and miss. The contestants in it not really been trying, but this week, can I just say, well done to Frankie Boyle for actually turning up. He, he's been phoning it in for the last few weeks, and he actually showed why he's funny, and his responses to the other people, and even at the end when he was get Frankie, did you realise you would be in? He was yes, I made too many inappropriate jokes. This is where my career has got me now. So well done. So watch Taskmaster this week for Frankie Boyle. He was actually quite funny. But yeah.
Can we just make a lovely shout out to the wonderful Graham, who's celebrating his birthday today?
Yes, happy birthday, the Velvet Snatch.
Yes, happy birthday, Graham. Hope you're enjoying your hike.
Yes, I hope you get out.
He's
get out of Mordor with the ring as well.
He's in parts unknown at the moment.
Actually, we haven't heard from him. Well, he might be dead. So, R.I.P. Graham if you didn't drop the mountain. So
just cover all the bases. But life, death, we got you.
Just I is looking forward to meeting you.
Yes. So, do you want to do your disclaimer there, lovely Sammy?
Yes, well, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group where we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of her nerdism.
Very well done. And because in the Discord tonight they are having like little wagers on because they are becoming a little society upon themselves that we can't manage or govern.
We can't control.
No, they've actually got a bet on to see how long the podcast's going to be running tonight. So, good night, bye. You lose.
Good night, everyone.
But yes,
Ian length never mix.
It's all about the girth, eh?
Girth certificate.
And to talk about that, how's your mum, Sammy? So yes.
No, we got to talk about Planet Express.
Yes, I can deliver a package. It's fine.
No,
I even I felt wrong with that one. Sorry, yes. It's
poor mum.
It's the Hypnotoad. It's having the effect on us. Look now, it's like one, flashing in the middle. But yes,
if it's Copperfield you want, it's Copperfield you'll get.
But yes.
So this week is Futurama.
But yes, so 1999, I believe.
Yes.
Wow,
Whoa,
this came out, yes, because this was Matt Groening's like spin-off from, well, not spin-off, this was him taking a walk away from The Simpsons and saying, I'm going to do something different and making another pop culture reference TV show.
Yeah.
The end of the golden era of The Simpsons, coincidentally, as well.
Very much so,
yeah,
yes.
They took all the good writers.
Yeah.
And I have to say this, when you think about the premise to Futurama and the storytelling, it is one of the simplest tales that's been done over time. Like take a man out of time, put him in a place where he's not from, not comfortable, and see chaos ensues. They just basically chose an everyday man rather than like a scientist or a buffoon. Well, he was kind of a buffoon. He was a pizza delivery buffoon.
Yeah.
But we talked about like Ash from the Evil Dead's type style. So that it's basically just like a retelling of Orson Welles' The Time Machine, just done in cartoon form. But done amazingly well. And I think one of the things I loved about this so much was simply the characters. All of them were well written. All of them had their own personalities, and all of them, like even throughout all the seasons, were given like moments to shine. And I just thought, like as a preference, I know like content's going to come now because the new season comes out in July, I think, isn't it? You've got the date on your Goodwill.
Yeah. July on Hulu in America and possibly, I think it's Disney Plus over here.
I think it's Disney Plus. If it's anything like the Kardashians, it's on Disney Plus for us and Hulu for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
and people are already hating on it, you know.
Yeah,
the internet.
it was
really?
announced. Yeah, it was announced a few days ago. That it was premiering in July. People were like, shut up.
Well, it was because they also put out like a kind of weirdly written marketing spiel where they were like, and it's going to cover NFTs and COVID and like like cancel culture, and everyone's like, oh, I don't know about
this. We want to be taken away from thinking about stuff like that.
Oh no, sci-fi shows have never commented on modern day situations ever.
I think it's just the way to see what side Fox comes down on those things, though.
Goodwill's face there was a picture. Someone get a screen grab of that.
Sorry,
I think Goodwill's still not over that. These faces on pants. That's where he is.
Shut up about that.
Goodwill's mom buy these pants. Mrs. Goodwill.
That's Goodwill's Christmas presents for the next.
When I said I wanted merchandise, this is not what I asked for.
Goodwill, I'd be over the moon. Like, why are you getting so bent out of shape? I'd love that.
Oh, all right, then let's put your face on some budgie smugglers, shall we?
But to be fair though, Sammy doesn't wear pants, so it'll be Sammy like Do we get like
Yeah.
a pubic hair shaved in the face of Sammy? Like using ball, what was that thing? Ball shavers that Sammy like that we're going to be advertising. Manscaped for your balls pleasure.
We're not getting signature Merkins, Paul, no matter how many times you ask.
Sammy, the voice of Nerdy Up North and the BBC going, get your plums looking shiny.
Oh my God, just imagine.
I don't want to, thank you.
So this has went off the boil.
Futurama.
It took less than 2 minutes to get into Futurama for us to be completely derailed.
But
yeah, like do you remember how you felt when they first announced Futurama? Because I was like Paul said, it's a super simple like premise, but I was like, that just sounds amazing just hearing about it. Unfortunately, it was on Sky, like exclusively at first. So I had to like hear about it from friends who had Sky.
No.
But I eventually got there. But yeah, I remember being like super excited about it. Like it wasn't the kind of thing where like, you know, word was like, oh, it's just going to be a copy of The Simpsons. It was like, no, this sounds amazing. Can't wait to see it.
No, definitely. As you said, I did notice it on Sky. Because like the Martin campaign was huge for it. It was massive, like, and this is going to be the next big thing from The Simpsons. That's all I kept on saying, hammering on. This is going to be as big as The Simpsons or better than The Simpsons. And when I first watched the first episode, and I'm not saying it's a bad pilot, it just it was just I didn't think I got it at the time. I think I was like, oh, it's okay. It's not The Simpsons because, as you said, early Simpsons, the writing with it was brilliant. And
it was like never before seen at the time. Simpsons, wasn't it?
Yeah. So now it was kind of like, oh, it's just The Simpsons, but set in a different premise. And when I think they realized that was the feedback, well, not the feedback, but when they realized they didn't want to do that, and the episodes that came afterwards were so brilliantly done. And what I loved about it as well, the continuation of it, the continuality, is that the right word? Continuity, that's the word. That's why I have Goodwill on, to put me right. Is better than any cartoon show because there's callbacks and there's reference to jokes 6 seasons after it actually happens. I think the big one, I think someone posted a meme on it the other day and I thought was absolutely brilliant, is when Fry makes a joke about going to a planet and sleeping with a race of radiators, and then at Fry's funeral, there's a radiator on the aisle with all of Fry's girlfriends. I was like, that's fucking amazing. Just the detail, the level of thought process, and the notes they must have kept just to keep everything kind of like flowing and saying, this relates to this. We can't do this because this is what we've done previously. And it must have got like so confusing because I know when I looked on, like say, Wikipedia, I think it said there's been 11 seasons of this now.
Yeah, there's 11, but it's been cancelled and then it's had DVD movies and stuff like that. I was very much like Jake. Like it was announced in 1999, and it was like, this is going to be bigger than The Simpsons, and it's exclusive to Sky One because we are parasites. And I'm like, cool. And then Channel 4 got drip feeds of it. And because there was only 9 episodes of the first season, and it was a very slow burn because I think the team sort of it's different than The Simpsons, and I think they wanted to flesh it out and pace it. But then the second season onwards, they really just like popped the clutch, and it started to build its own momentum, and it got progressively funnier all the way through. But it was I mean, at the time, the marketing for it was, this is like The Simpsons, but it's got swishy animations, 3D animations, and it was seamlessly intercut. Like the second episode when they visit the moon, and like it's bits where like Bender's running, and then it goes into a computer version of Bender on the magnet singing and stuff like that. And it was very. I like to with Futurama. I like to say it's very clean. Yeah, it's very polished. I mean, it like with most animations, it gets more polished as it progresses. But with this, it was sort of like, okay, this is a team that's taken 10 years of what they've learned from The Simpsons, distilled the good parts, and have gone, this is our passion project. And it came through, like from the straight away, it came through, and then just it never left. But it was, yeah, the continuity has always been there, but just it built like Red Dwarf. It built such a daft, silly world, but
Yeah.
it was done it was done so passionately, and it was a place where you're like, oh yeah, it's cool. It's 1,000 years in the future, but it's grounded in today's reality with pizza boxes and soap operas and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or a million years in the future, as Fry thinks when he first gets told it's the year 3000.
Bless, and I love the callbacks throughout. Like, as you said, the continuity as well. It's like every time they go back saying, oh, this happened to Fry when he got frozen. Like when it turns out it was Nibbler who basically helped him get thing, and there's more like say,
I think in the first episode I don't think there's any callbacks, but then every time you see him get frozen, there's like a secret Nibbler in the scene somewhere. I don't think it's in the very first one, because like how could you plan that far ahead? But like every time after that, you'll see him like near the trash can, because obviously he flipped his chair up into the like. That's what you find out eventually, that he rocked back and he wasn't going to go in the tube.
What about you, Sammy? When did you get like say like you find the world, the world of tomorrow?
Oh well, it wasn't when it came out, that's for sure.
I know, I didn't expect any differently.
However,
she hasn't seen it.
I have actually, but I haven't seen it for a really long time. I had them all on DVD because it was really the only way at the time I could watch them. Yeah, I had them all. I'm trying to think, like, so it would have been from like 2000 to maybe like 2003.
Probably a bit later, to be honest.
1 to 4, I guess.
Yeah, because when they came out on DVD, the DVDs were absolutely beautiful. Like
it was
the box sets,
lovely box sets. Yeah,
I remember the box sets.
I had quite a few of them, and lost them in a bit of a split up. So they're still with that person.
Futurama disc.
Yeah,
I think this is probably gonna like make Paul hate me, but I think I threw all the boxes out and just put the discs on a spool when I was moving house, because I was like, I want to keep Futurama, but like I'm not keeping all this plastic stuff.
Oh, the boxes were superb. Like
You've broken Goodwill. Goodwill needs to reboot.
Oh my gosh.
But now it fits on one nice spool, seasons 1 to 4.
But do you know how this is? Do you know how we were talking earlier about comfort? This was a comfort.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is like, this was what used to just go on in the background, and like I would find something new to laugh at every time that it came on. My friends give my dog at the time a nickname of Zoidberg because she ate everything. That dog ate paint.
Oh well.
So yeah, she got called Zoidberg for a really long time. But yeah, it was a comfort thing. It was this or Family Guy, and I would have them mixed between the two. But
I would fall asleep to both those box sets, and then you'd wake up with like the Family Guy DVD menu where he was just laughing over and over again. Yes. I'm like, what's happening?
Why is this happening? Yeah, but it has been a really long time since I've watched it. But when I have seen clips of it, I just find it like it's quite adulty.
Yeah,
like even for like, I don't think even we were in our early 20s when that came out. I don't think I would have gotten it then properly.
Yeah, I think a lot of the jokes were like, it's one of them shows like as the Simpsons did. It was like some jokes for the kids, some jokes for the adults, and like, oh look, Bender's an alcoholic. Oh, it shouldn't really laugh at that, but we are going to. But
there was a lot of Fry's anatomy being discussed a lot, like in intimate detail in many episodes.
There was a lot of Dick's jokes in the whole lot of the whole thing. But no. And
give me the lower horn.
I think with a lot of it as well, that surprised us, like especially watching it back, how many actually heartfelt episodes in, like, and this, like say this show gets like when we talk about like TV or moments in TV shows that break people, this one gets referenced so much, like, but there's so many other ones that's good ones as well, like with Fry's brother, who Fry thinks basically stole his life, but he didn't. Like say he loved Fry that much, like he named his son Fry, and he had the big life, and like they had just shown, and it was like giving Fry going from like being mad to the realization and stuff, and how much Fry cared for Leela was always quite nicely done as well, because it was
Yeah.
always like kind of sacrificing them where it was never done in a creepy way like the Zach Bradigan like episodes. But I said, if we're going to talk about like the main one, like I said, it was a Jurassic
Let's get
Park.
this out the way with.
The Jurassic Park episode.
Let's get this one out the way with, shall we, before we go get into the laughs, because this is probably one of, just the idea alone is fucking heart-wrenching.
Yes.
To watch it play out is even worse. I have never felt so emotionally drained after an episode of Futurama. Of all the things you could put that to, you would never think Futurama, but my God, did that. It killed us. It absolutely killed us.
You actually feel like, how dare you? Like at the end, don't you?
Like, how could you?
Yeah, it's been the subject of like many memes where like, oh, I watched Futurama for the last, and then it's just like the last, and it's just screenshots of that episode.
Seymour.
Yeah.
Seymour Butts.
Yeah.
But I say the episode's played for laughs all the way through when they're in the pizza shop and it's like walking on sunshine. And
they've ruined Walking on Sunshine forever. It's a sad song now.
And then, like I say,
he does the hustle as well to get him back.
The hustle as well.
It's protest song.
But yeah, it's like going back to like Fry's family. His dad's just a meathead, and his mum's like I say a bell end as well.
Yeah, you're actually right, because like you've hit on a couple of those where like those both delve into like Fry's like previous life. And it's always like Fry's a fun character because like, I mean, they've literally said this out loud. I'm not like digging up like hidden meaning, but that he was like a totally unaccepted loser in the 2000s, but in the year 3000 he somehow fits in like better than he ever did. Like, because the one where his girlfriend comes back, like the touch on that as well, like like he's like, he was always a loser, but he's like a loser with friends in the year 3000.
So that's the thing though, you can be a loser like us because we're losers, but we've got friends, so friends.
I mean, there was one of the later episodes with Hubert where we find out that his parents are still alive, but they're in one of those homes where they're in storage.
Right.
Sorry.
But there's a really touching part at the end where obviously they're living their life out in this sort of like simulation, and he joins them, and he just like, he turns Farnsworth turns himself into a child version of himself, and he's like, I just want to play with you guys one more time, and he turns into a kid, and he just has fun with his pet.
How dare they do that as well?
Yeah,
I laughed because you said these parents went into storage, and I was like, imagine if that's like what we did. We just shoved our parents into storage at some point. And
but it was
I was like, it's heartbreak.
It was so touching because he's like, this is someone who missed those days and just wanted to recreate it one more time with his parents. And he just sit, and like the whole scene just ends with them running around this farm chasing and playing Tig or something, whatever they call it. And it's just heart-wrenching. Absolutely heart-wrenching. God damn this series.
The other one, like I said, I watched like only probably a few days ago as well, that I didn't really appreciate at the time. Because, as you said, you look for Futurama to be the laughs and be the funnies and stuff like that. But this one wasn't funny at all. It was like probably like about loss and how you deal with loss. And they flipped it at the end. You could see it coming, but it was like really well done. It was the one where Fry and Leela get stung by the bee. And it goes all the way through Fry, and you see him die. And Leela's coping with the grief by taking like the honey and like saying, oh, if you take too many, you can't come back. You'll go and like all she keeps on hearing is like in her dreams is Fry saying, don't go, wake up, just wake up. And you kind of get lost in the message because it's all like
it's very psychedelic in it. Yeah,
it's very sad, very emotional taken, but then it flips it and it's like Leela's in the coma, Fly's fine because the stinger went through him and didn't punch any of the poison. It went all into her, and basically Fry didn't leave her side, and he's the reason she woke up. And it was just beautifully done. Again, a lot of different TV shows have done similar type of tropes or similar types of like storytelling, but it's always like in this type of show, it could have been handled not well, and it was done so well and so beautiful that it feeds you. But then again, like, sorry to jump from bit to bit here, because that's what we're going to probably be doing. There's no structure.
Yeah, I don't think you can keep a structure when it comes to something like this, because it's always something going to come up, isn't it?
But then they have like great conversation ones, open debates, like the Popular episode, where they go to the episode and find these little things and become the tastiest things they've ever eaten, and the whole world's eating these little things, and it turns out baby creatures from Obi-Wan 7 or something like that. And then it's like, oh, is eating meat wrong? But doing like, it's like a whole, like, say, is man eating meat the wrong idea, or think like this is eating another living creature? And it
Are you
just
telling
takes
me there's hidden messages in my cartoons?
always. They're always telling you to kill people or fuck someone. Mainly fuck Goodwill, because look, he's got them come to bed eyes already. So yes.
But yeah, like that one's hilarious because it like culminates in like them eating a human on like a pay-per-view, which is basically an orangutan dressed as Leela.
But then the hippie couldn't let it happen, and like the hippie gets eaten, and he's like, "Oh, the hippie had something bad in him," and like he's all stoned and shit like that.
Tripping.
So, what other episodes like this are the big standouts for you guys? Because I can keep reeling them off. Like probably.
I've got a massive one. Fry in the Slurm Factory.
Oh yes,
that's the best Willy Wonka parody that's ever been. I know everything's done it.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
And like I know like so many shows have done that exact thing, but that's the best one. Like my mind always goes back to the line when it's like, who are those horrible men over there? And he's like, that's the like drunkalunkas. And he's like, tell them I hate them. It's just like it's just a one-off line. It's just so weird. But I love it.
Was it Slim Mackenzie as well?
Secret ingredient.
Yeah, when he's like that's the thing that's supposed to win a party, but he helps save them, and then Bender's like you got a party with us, and he's like, all right, but can we keep it small? No can do, Slums. It's going to be like Goodwill soon.
Well, Lee asks, would you still drink Slum?
It looked tasty as fuck.
Yeah.
It really did.
Milk comes from a cow's behind. Honey comes from a bee's behind. Yeah, I would drink it.
It looked thick. It looked thick as well, like, didn't it? It looked thick.
Mm.
Can you stop saying thick?
Are you liking that?
Maybe the Queen Slurm was quite thick.
Yeah, and
I remember her.
But that one ends great as well because they're telling like the government about it, and he's like, Heine, eh? And then like Fry realizes they're gonna outlaw Slurm, and he's like, oh, he's just telling crazy stories like Grandpa always does. And then he's like, I'm not your grandpa. You're my uncle from the year 2000. The guy's like, okay, Grandpa.
He'll deal with the
Yeah. It's like you say, they've got to keep that Roswell twist going for the rest of it.
But it's also, there's also a nice little dig about Coca-Cola because they try and change Leela into a queen. They're like, but sir, she is a commoner. Hers will taste nasty. Exactly. We'll label it as new Slurm. And then when everyone hates it, we'll bring back classic Slurm and make billions. And like, truly, you are the genius.
I'm sorry, I'm just amazed by the chat. Someone called Dusk Astartes, is that right? Did I say it right? Found our channel through a sticker on a bus stop. Who's been putting our stickers on a bus stop?
Who's been putting stickers on a bus stop, Paul?
Hey,
that's amazing. Welcome to our chat. Welcome to our episode.
We may have engaged in some light vandalism. All in service of this.
Shortly.
Yes, that's how a great story starts. I found your channel through a sticker on a bus stop. Now let's tell you a story about Sammy's mom. But yes. No, Futurama. Yes, sorry. But yeah,
I think I'd mentioned that Roswell episode, which is another highlight of mine.
Gosh, that blew my mind when I saw that episode. Just because, like, you think they're going to go there, they're going to do that. Nah, there's no way they're going to make that joke. And when they do it, you're just like, what?
Because they tease it for so long, don't they? Like, he avoids it for so long.
We'll explain it for the chat and people who may not remember it.
Okay, so like it's the accidentally go to Roswell back in real 1950s. Fry accidentally kills his grandpa and then sleeps with his grandmother, becoming his own grandfather.
Yes, and story-wise, it plays out perfectly because the brain invasion that tries to take over the world and stupefies everyone.
The brain spawn.
The brain spawn. And that's why the war with Nibbler's creatures go against the brains. But the reason why Fry is immune is because he is his own grandfather. Because his DNA has been mangled through inbreeding, or what they call in the Northeast, being from Middlesbrough.
We call it royalists, but okay.
Well done, Goodwill. Well done.
But I think they explain it that his brainwaves are like the same as a houseplant or like an animal.
When he's on the little nibbler,
the
like,
Scooty Puff Junior.
But yes,
you're just like little schoolboys, aren't you? Have you heard you?
Yeah. This is what we did in school. Like this is what I did.
it's also as well like they made jokes because obviously it's sci-fi. They made jokes using real science, like the horse race scene, where it's like, and the winner is blah, 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 by a quantum finish, and Farnsworth's like, no fair, you changed the result by measuring it. And it's just like, yes, it's just so funny that they used to, because like some of the science, obviously they got consultants in. But it was like all real shit, and like they're on about like quantum singularities and wormholes and stuff and time travel, and like, or the episode Tales. Is it Tales of Interest?
Yeah,
what would happen if Fry stayed in the year 2000? And
yes, they do like the what if type like episodes and stuff like that.
Tales of Interest.
But then it turns out that the entire episode was what if Hubert invented the Thinglonger. So like they love to do a last minute twist, like it's amazing. It's like layers within layers.
But it's like, by staying in the year 2000, you created a quantum anomaly. You needed to go in, and then he just decided to just smash the fridge and just ruin all the universe. And it's like, what do we do now? Do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons for the next quadrillion years?
Oh yes, because that's the one where you find out there's like a shadow like cabal of like Stephen Hawking and like the guy who created
Nichols, Al Gore.
and Deep Blue, the chess computer.
Queen to rook 8. Not every case can be solved by chess, Deep Blue. You will learn that eventually.
But talking about the professor as well, like Farnsworth, like his inventions are the worst though. Like the smelloscope, just like, why would that even how would that even compute? And the fact that they use it on multiple episodes as well.
Yeah, they start using it quite often, don't they? Like, is it as a quick like let's find something in space.
Yes, and like the whole
death clock as well.
The death clock, oh fucking hell, the death clock. I was thinking about just like the universes in a box and how they don't trust each other, and like when they go into the boxes to say the other like say versions of themselves, where everything was basically picked out from a flip of a coin. So the fact that Leela and Fry are together because the flipped it was the opposite to what the coin flip, and Bender is then gold instead of steely grey. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just love the ideas and the premise behind that. Like, say, it was so clever and so well done.
But it's not to be confused with the other parallel universe people they see when they go to the end of the universe, and they've all got cowboy hats on.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm sick of Cowboy Bender lording it over me with his cowboy hat. But they probably did remember that when they made that episode.
But what about you, Goodwill? What other than the what if episodes, was any like big ones that you can remember that like say?
There are so many. I mean, for me, one of my favorites is the $300 that they all get as a tax rebate from the invasion of the arachnids.
Yeah,
and it's like 300 tricky dickies, and
have we just got a new gimmick for Goodwill now to do impressions of people?
That's a really good one. I'm mixing that, mind.
Oh, fucking hell, when he gets Agnew later on. And it's just like, get him, Agnew! And it's just like, it's
a Frankenstein.
Yeah. But no, I mean, there are so many I mean, obviously the heartfelt ones, yeah, but there are so many standout episodes, and I mean, even some of the specials. Like for me, it's the Fry has 100 cups of coffee, and he eventually consumes so much that time has no meaning, and he's just able to slow down time.
It becomes the Flash for a little bit.
Yeah, it becomes the Flash for a little bit. But then you've also got like the just so. Oh God, I'm absolutely drawing a blank now. But it's the one with Leonardo da Vinci, where he goes back to his planet and he realizes that Da Vinci is like the dumbest person on his own planet.
But just smarter than all of us.
Just smarter than all of us. The What If episode, Stretch Dude and Clobber Girl.
Stretched. Oh, the
Clobber Girl.
Wait, wasn't that The Simpsons?
No, that was the Simpsons one. There was the Futurama one, but
well, they had that paste. It was a miracle back cream.
Yeah, it was like
superpowers.
That was and Bender was Super King, the best one of the three.
Bender was Super King. I can't remember now. It wasn't because Stretch Dude and Clobber Girl was the Simpsons episode. That was Lisa and Bart.
No, was it?
Yeah,
that was a Halloween one.
Oh God! So, what did they play in Futurama?
It's the same. It was the same premise. Just like they both had super strength and super speed, but I can't remember the names for them.
Captain Yesterday was Fry.
Yeah, Captain Yesterday.
Yeah, but obviously you got
Clobberella. I think was
yeah. But obviously, I mean, the Star Trek episode for me, that's
it's got to be up there. Welshie.
Oh, shocker!
I'm surprised we haven't had a Welshie yet in like the expanded universe, like just to like tie up that.
Lower Decks will probably have a Welshie in at some point. But
to be fair though, the one I thought you would have picked up on was the actual Star Trek episode, because that was so well done. Like where like some uber alien Star Trek fan kidnaps the original cast, because Star Trek has become an illegal word in the future because of the Star Trek wars.
Because it's just too personal to me. I was going to say,
I think you've just talked about Goodwill's actual plans.
I felt personally seen, so I thought
he's going to be part of that nerd war. Like one day.
You've just told all of his evil plans. I was loud now.
No, it's great though.
Going out in daylight. What are you about?
It was actually it was probably one of the first like commentaries about fans I've actually seen like play out in an episode, like plot line, because it is literally like all the Star Trek people are like, oh my god, it's Pasadena TrekCon all over again, like type of thing or something. I don't remember the exact place, but it's like it absolutely is a commentary on super fans, because he writes his own script for an episode, doesn't he? Like,
yes, they do the fan fiction and Fry's like, I'm the super fan, and he's like he's like, okay, I realize that Planetic Express are the true heroes. Now you all have to do it like sort this out in true Star Trek fashion. Fight to the death. And then
double axe handles.
Sorry, I've got the Star Trek song stuck in my head.
I mean,
you're probably turning Goodwood on there, Sammy. Don't make him get the horn out.
But even like the court martial scene where like they get into the little wheelchair and he starts talking, he's like, please use the beeps. And it's like, and it just like flashes back to the beeps.
And it's like a little foot pedal, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is probably a really silly question, knowing the Futurama writers, Goodwill, but are all of those references accurate to like specific episode numbers and stuff like that?
Probably not.
No? Do you think they were just messing about?
the thing is, I mean, maybe, but a lot of it, I mean, you can't deny that Futurama didn't steal, but used a lot of Star Trek in its show. Like sound effects were 90% Star Trek, references were all there, but it was. I
think Leonard Nimoy was in like episode 1 as well as a head, was he?
Yes, I think he's been in a few of them. I think, yeah,
because he got knocked off the shelf. Because he got knocked off the shelf, and then Frakes came down, and he was like, "Okay, front row."
Yeah,
but it was. But it's more. I think it's a love letter to all science fiction.
Yeah.
And you know, you look at. I mean, obviously Zach Brannigan is Kirk.
He's Shatner and like say in Velour.
Yeah.
Captain's log, stardate April 13th.
Point 2.
but it's there's just so many good standout episodes. I mean, I even like some of the specials as well, like the ones where they get scammed, where it's got Bender's time travel code on Fry's butt. And they have to go back into. I think someone in the comments mentioned that it's actually like the binary code.
At The Shining, it's 101010 and it equals like 666. I read that comment and I wasn't too sure what they were referring to.
Yeah, it's 666 in binary code.
Oh, okay. It's like that. To be honest with you, that was where I kind of fell out of love with Futurama when they did that like first movie thing. I just feel like it took a weird turn, like especially like I don't know if it was just because they were like, hey, we've got DVD time, we can be a bit dirtier, but I think it like lost a little bit of the charm for me. And that just seemed like a fine place to jump off for me, and I never really went back apart from random stuff I think I saw on like Sky. I think my dad kept on watching it.
It didn't much like The Simpsons, where you had obviously the golden era and then it sort of petered off, and then it's had little bits of ebbs and flows. This was like it petered off a little bit, but then it was nowhere near as bad as The Simpsons got. Like it still maintained that like quality. And the later episodes were quite funny, because I think they leaned heavily into like Bender being Bender, like fans, like they fleshed out those characters a lot more in there, and like they were more funnier as they got on, because Farnsworth was pretty. Farnsworth in the first series was senile.
Yeah.
And
it was like a one-note joke type thing.
Yeah, and then
like the mad inventor.
Yeah, and then obviously as he went on, they slowly fleshed him out. Like he has to get the remote from Mom's bra to stop a robot uprising and stuff like that. But
it's like, oh my.
That one's great as well, where you find out that they used to date, and like he like his first robot was like C3PO or something, and he was like, but he was like too disappointed with him because he was all effeminate and British.
He crushes him down.
Oh no! Oh my! Oh no! Oh.
Might I offer you a tender kiss on the forehead? And he's just like,
I think, and you find out that like he actually created all the robots, and his mistake was he couldn't get. Like he could have fixed the problem, but he was too busy boring mom to actually fix the thing that's killing the planet, with all the like they say the toxic fumes and stuff like that.
That scene where they're in the log cabin and he just like it pans up to Mom and Farnsworth in the bed, and Farnsworth just goes, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, is that looks like two elephant skin rugs?"
What's those elephant skin rugs doing in here?
But I think why I like this as well, because I know with like say the Nerdy Up North community, we do try and stay away from like all political commentary and like religion as well as a rule, because let's be honest, it causes so much shit.
It can create so much shit.
But in the Futurama, they weren't scared to raise these type of topics as well, like and with like Robot Hell was with the Robot Devil was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen as well. like the song episodes and
that's probably my favorite ones is that one in the episode with Lucy Liu, Robot Lucy Liu.
Oh yes.
Yeah, just like came into my head, and I was like, I had to go and Google it because I'm like, am I making this up? There was a Robot Lucy Liu, right?
Yep. Is like love bot that he programmed to be Lucy Liu or something, wasn't it? Philip J. Fry.
I love you, Philip.
It was just great how like they did basically, like Goodwill was saying, that they like parodied like every sci-fi under the sun, but they would do it in a silly way where like basically science is magic in Futurama that can just like explain away any kind of story plot hole they feel like, but they also would like be cynical and be like, well, if people really made this technology, it wouldn't be all fleshed out and all singing and dancing. It would have like rough edges. Like,
because
I love to show that.
Like Sonia just nailed it in the chat as well. Like how they done the Christmas episodes, like Robot Santa being the most scariest fucking thing like on the planet. How people didn't want to celebrate Christmas because Santa made them all naughty. And
he was too good at like
naughty children.
Apart from Zoidberg.
Yeah,
Zoidberg was a good dog.
Good dog.
but like it's like stuff like that, like all the science. It's like even like the drive for the Planet Express ship, it was like it doesn't move, everything else moves around it. That's how it travels. And I'm just like, oh shit, that's actually like pretty fucking advanced for a cartoon. Just mention something.
But
like
he doesn't remember like how he invented it or anything. Like that.
But like the political stuff as well. Like talking about Zoidberg, his like standout episode as well is when he on Freedom Day when he eats the flag. And it's a real good like commentary on like patriotism going wrong, and like how people kick off about like flag burning and how desecrating what one person's flag's like the worst thing you do. When let's be honest, there's worse things in the world that goes on.
We've seen it happen to like random wrestlers in real life, hasn't it? For like kicking a flag when they're supposed to be the bad guy, and then it suddenly becomes an international incident.
Yes, it can be thrown way out of proportion, can't it?
Yeah. But Zoidberg is an interesting character because like I feel like he's treated with the most disdain from like the main cast. But like they do have the odd episode, but then again, he shows himself up to be just as awful as them. Like at times.
he's if what I remember, he was just as bad as what they are. But there was something almost redeeming about him that you couldn't quite get out of. Couldn't quite get out of them.
But he was redeemed in the later series because they were like he does a botch examination on one of the crew, and they're like, "Why do you have him? Why do you have him?" And it's like. Zoidberg is like completely redeemed, where it's like he actually saved Farnsworth's life, and Farnsworth was like he was in his debt, and he just basically gave him a job and a place to live, and just. But it was like after all the years of just having this constant shit and everyone hated him, and it was just like, all right, that's why he's there. He shitted his job.
But, I never saw anyone. I never think anyone hated him. I just think he was an easy punching bag, like because of how daft he was.
Wait there. So I'm Zoidberg. Is that what it is?
I didn't say that. But
honestly, sorry, I was just gonna say like the other episode where they dive into his family and like that Harold Zoid thing, where it's all like old Jewish comedians. Like that was like that was written. Just for like the person who wrote it, because like who else is gonna get like all those like oldie time like Hollywood comedy references and stuff.
It's a very Hollywood thing to do, to have an old like an old producer's home.
Yeah,
and it's just like uncle is just like rich nephew.
He's a doctor. Let's pay for a new movie. Let's get Calpy on.
Your voice is good, Will. Absolutely spot on. Crazy.
Sorry, I don't go out much.
I'm really surprised, the amount of time we've been talking about it now. No one's really mentioned Bender. Because I always thought he was like such a standout character for like Futurama fans I thought that's where you would go to first.
100%. And like I know I've been dropping little like snippets in the Facebook community this week, like asking questions like, "Oh, what's people's favorite episodes? What people's favorite characters and stuff like that?" And I think about 80% of the people that actually posted in the favorite characters one did actually say Bender, and I think he is a strong character in the show. But as I said, we would always talk about him, like bring up like certain elements as well. But I thought I'd like me personally. I don't know if you guys like say. I wanted to like talk about probably the lesser known ones first, because Bender's always going to get time to shine. Like this show wouldn't have worked without him, type thing. It's the elements.
Yeah. It's a series much like The Simpsons and Family Guy and everything like that, where the supporting characters make the show. Like, ruler of the planet, Omicron Persei 8. But it's those supporting characters, like Morbo, the news presenter, like when they're having a heat wave and he's like, Morbo is pleased but sticky. And it's like it's those characters that build the world. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely love Bender, but it's the little sub characters, Zap, Kif, and everyone like that that make it,
and like
like The Simpsons, where you have that world. Sorry,
because it was like aliens and stuff, they could just have literally any character they wanted, and they opened the door to have any celebrity they wanted at the same time, because they're like,
they're all dead.
Yeah, they're just head in the jars. Like we saved them with future technology.
and like, see, that's the thing. You never really got the explanations. Like, fair enough, these people are dead, but they've got them in, like, say, in the prime of their life. There's
the
like,
head museum.
In the head museum, it's like what they do, de-age them as well. But
they said it was like the juice that they use. Oh, sorry, I hate
the juice.
What a word.
The fluid, no shit. The liquid that they use it's like a special regenerative property, and I mean they don't have to explain it because it's Futurama.
Yeah, I didn't care.
It's like, oh yeah, we've got George Washington's head. How did you do that? Oh, time travel. And it's like, okay, so you beheaded these famous figures from the past just so they could be in a museum and stuff.
I mean that is actually a really good like little Bender episode where he has a little arc when he sells his body and like he's like talking to George Washington, like, why did you sell your body? It's the same reason you hacked your teeth.
But Bender has so many different highlights as well, though. Like, say, when you talk about
he's
Bender,
he's the character I think more than anyone else that can just literally do anything, because they can just be like, oh well, he's a robot, so he can have any kind of physical power you need him to have in that situation. And also he doesn't care about anything. He's not really a citizen or whatever, so he can just say whatever he wants.
But he's also like, I mean, the amount of metal he's made out of, like 40% of zinc and fucking mercury and shit like that. He's like, I'm 90% cadmium, and he's just like, what?
Every time something comes up, it's he's 40% this. So it's like if you add it all together.
But I think you knew Bender was going to be a hit. I think even from like early episode, probably the big one was, as Sammy mentioned, when they went to the moon, and Fry's like, we're going to go to the moon. The moon's the big thing. Like, it's like they're going to like Flamingo Land. It's like done over and over again.
Yeah.
And they're like, look, this is not the moon. This is not. And it's like whaling on the moon with my harpoon. Look, no one wheeled on the moon. It's good. How do you know? He's good. Well, I was there. I was at the time.
It's amazing how much history has been lost in that world. Just like just because they don't care anymore about like our time period.
But and the whole episode where, like, say, when he's on the moon as well, like, he gets locked down. He's like, screw you guys. I'm going to build my own theme park. It's going to have blackjack. It's going to have hookers and hookers. And you're like, I want to go to that one.
Yeah.
But then
people say that line all the time with probably like every day in the group someone makes that joke.
Probably me making that joke as well, to be fair. Sorry.
Literally what Paul did.
Well done, Goodwill.
I'd like to announce my retirement from Nerdy Up North.
I was going to say, wait there, who's calling Donna a hooker now? So
shots fired.
She's never taken a payment.
You say she's a bad one as well? My God, you are getting worse.
I should do a Nixon impression. I'm not a crook.
I'm not a crook's head.
You need the jowls for Nixon. You need the jowls. You need to go.
Yeah.
But yes,
this is not how I expected this episode to go.
But I think probably it's my favorite Bender episode out of all of them is the one where he gets stuck in the magnet and on the tin opener and he becomes like a disabled robot.
Oh God!
And then he joins basically Beck and like say the other robots. It's just hilarity as well.
The thing. It's so fucking. It's like it's 1,000 years in the future. Yeah, it's so fucking 2002.
Yeah, Beck's still touring.
Yeah, Beck's still touring.
And I'm just saying, I've been saved. Donna didn't hear what I said. Go watch this episode and back to
nothing.
It wasn't me, I promise.
Definitely not a rewatch, Donna.
I was just having a look at the cast list, the voice actors, and I always knew there was a Batman in there. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah.
No, Jordan Maggio. No, what's his name? John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was like, oh yeah, the voice casting for this series is pretty special, man. There's some really good people in there. Billy West.
Yeah.
Like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
There's some very huge names and John DiMaggio.
They use it for the joke as well, don't they? How they've got that Leela like Married with Children episode where she gets trapped.
God, yeah.
Yes.
With the Cyclops.
In a bad relationship with Al Alcazar or whatever.
Who are those? Those are my friends.
No peg.
The only thing is with the cast, I can't get words out now. It's one that's I'm flustered because I'm scared Donna's gonna braze. That's what it is.
He's on the way.
Possibly, but even say the main cast, I can't remember her name now, but she's basically from Married with Children.
Katie Seagal, yeah.
That's the one. Having her in it as well. She's pretty much been in literally everything now, hasn't she? She's
everyone's mum. She is everyone's mum.
I wish it was my mum, Peggy Bundy, who had a lot to do.
She's Peggy Bundy. She's in 8 Simple Rules as Kaylee Cuoco's mum in that. Mm-hmm. She's then Kaylee Cuoco's mum in Big Bang Theory. Mm-hmm. She's also now in The Conners.
She was also a mum in 8 Simple Rules as well, yeah, so...
Yeah, so Cedric.
Well. Oh, I didn't hear. I thought you said the Big Bang. Yeah.
Stop reading the chat, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm just getting scared. Sorry, Donna's getting I'm going to read. I'm going to watch.
There was also a bit of a hoo-ha, wasn't there, when it was announced that the Futurama was coming back recently, and John.
Yeah,
they didn't have John DiMaggio. They didn't have John DiMaggio because they were offering. I mean. People, there was 2 sides of it. People thought, oh, he's just being a dick and being greedy, and it's well, no, he knows his worth, and if someone offers you less than what you were originally getting when it was on Fox, too right, you fucking turn down.
He's Marcus Fennick on Gears of War. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Jake the dog.
Yeah. So he knew performance. It was a case of he wasn't just doing it for him, he was doing it for the whole cast, and he was like, we need to be paid fairly for doing this. And so they were able to luckily get him back, but
also, he is doing it.
Yeah, so Disney were like, we'll just revoice him and stuff. And they're like, how can you revoice the most iconic character?
There's probably already been a joke about that, like a Bender replacement.
So they probably will do when they do the rating. They'll probably have Bender come on with a really weird voice, and they'll go, "You're not Bender," and then it'll be like, "Oh, it's like I'm the triplet that." Because they've already had his evil twin,
Flexo.
So they'll be like, I'm Trexo.
No, Bender's the evil one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I love that scene where they're at the convention, like the 3004 Comic-Con, and Bender just stands up to Matt Groening. When are you going to make a Simpsons movie too? And Groening just shoots him from across the room.
I'm just looking at the cast now, and it's pretty good ones. The woman who played Amy, I'm sure that's Jules from Friends. Yeah,
possibly
it is.
Be, yeah.
Julie from Friends. Yeah,
I mean,
I love finding little stuff out like that.
Their Friends joke is also iconic. Where because obviously the aliens lure from the Omicron Persei 8 get 1999 TV because it takes that long for the signal to get out.
Successful female lawyer.
Yeah, and he's like, why doesn't Ross, the largest of the Friends, simply eat the other ones? People reference that all the time.
To be fair though, if Ross could, he would have probably eaten them. Don't be a Ross, man.
But yeah, when obviously it turns out Fry knocked off their TV signal, but he has to reenact the final episode, based on half what he saw back in when he was unfrozen. But that's the thing about Fry. He's a loser, but sometimes the things he remembers, because nobody else does, it actually saves the day for everyone.
Definitely. And I think Sam said earlier as well, sorry to go back on the subject just because I wanted to touch on it, but I got swept away with the Donna wanting to murder us bit. The parody episodes always were a highlight when, say, there was a big parody or a joke on say a famous episode or a famous movie and stuff. For me, one of the ones that always did stand out and that I still cried laughing at it today is the one Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest episode, where Fry goes into a robot mental hospital and the thing
it's
is a
so
robot.
unhinged, isn't it? It's
yeah,
like, it's so crazy, that one.
But it's got the robot. I can't remember his name. That is just like, I'm going to stab you, and it's all he wants.
Roberto.
Roberto, that's it.
Yeah, Roberto.
The stabbing
He's
robot.
so scary.
I actually remember that episode, but because I've never seen the movie, I only watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest last year.
Yeah.
Or when Ratchet came out, that's when I watched it. So I didn't quite get the references, but
Yeah,
I do
Nurse
remember
Ratchet's
that.
in that one. She's just like got a like ratchet arm.
Yeah. You got the car salesman. The car salesman that like he's crazy. Was it Crazy Al or something like that? He's so crazy he explodes.
Yeah, it's like,
and he's just like, actually, we've met once before.
like, but they even have like a Nurse Ratchet come in and tie Fry up, and it's like ratcheting it up. But, the moments in that, like where he's like, "Hi Bender, we're going to escape now," and he's like, "Okay, when are we escaping?" Yeah, 10 minutes ago. We're out of the building already. But he's like, "Hi Red." That's why he comes called Fry Red as well, isn't it?
You received the message.
Oh dear. It was nice knowing you guys. This was the last podcast Paul was ever seen on live. Sad
but yeah,
times.
like that episode is like in a way like kind of sad because like Fry's like dying, but Bender just doesn't care when he's just like, I don't like having discs crammed into me unless it's Oreos, and then only in the mouth. But like Bender's just like got his own like scam going on where he's like loving the life in there. But like so that's why sometimes the heartfelt moments kind of don't ring all the way true for me, because then they'll have an episode like that where like nobody cares about each other. It's a bit strange when they do those like kind of tone resets.
But I think with definitely, and with it being like a sci-fi show as well, it could have just stayed on the sci-fi aspect as well, but it doesn't. It kind of touches on all types, like when they go to visit Amy's parents on Mars, and like the ranches and the bugaloos or something like that.
Yeah,
and it's like goes all western and everything. Like I know there's done space westerns before. Firefly, Never Take the Sky for me. Done it so well, but brown coat. But yeah,
even Nathan Fillion the other day at a comic convention was like, "Listen, guys, it's been 20 years now. You need to move on."
Why would you say that, Sammy?
You can't take the sky from me.
I'm just trying to hurt you, Paul. That's all.
Look, guys, you can actually see the moment that Paul's heart breaks.
When we get Nathan Fillion on the podcast, and he's like, "Shut up."
He's like, "So about Rookie, what? You were in other things."
Just talk about the brown coats, please. It's like Sean Astin. If Sean Astin comes on, he's not talking about that walking film. Fuck that shit.
We had this argument last week.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find out one.
Nathan Fillion was Nathan Drake.
Yes.
In the only Uncharted movie ever made. So I'm fine with that.
Sorry, hang on. What?
Oh, it's Goodwill's not letting
this
this
go.
go.
Is it fan-made?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or is it just in his head? Is it in your head, Goodwill?
No, it's real.
Oh, okay.
But yes. See, Sonia's sticking up for us in the chat. She's a brown coat, so yes.
Hi Sonia. I did see you come in earlier. Futurama.
But yes. So what other parodies, like in essence, I know they did the whole Little Mermaid one as well, where like went under the sea which was just absolutely bizarre. Like I think Jake's mentioned as well, like the Willy Wonka and like induced.
I remember the Willy Wonka one.
I'm surprised, Paul, you haven't remembered that they've done it Wizard of Oz when it's like one of the what ifs. Like
I try to forget that one because no one ever does a Wizard of Oz well. Like Supernatural fucked that one big style, but yeah, when Dorothy came back from the land of Oz, but yeah, but no, I always because the Wizard of Oz is pure. You can't like taint the Wizard of Oz, which so many people try and do. But yeah,
but like there's been a few like ones where they actually take a stab at doing like musicals, and the songs are actually pretty good. Like that one with like Hermes when he's has to go back to like central bureaucracy and he has to like sort everything.
A lot of earworms, like even like the one we talked, like the Robot Hell one when they're singing about Robot Hell. That one was brilliantly done.
Such a good.
It's got the Beastie Boys in it for like one line.
Have we lost Sammy now, have we?
Yeah, a little bit.
Or they just have Hanson.
I do remember that episode so well, and I think it's probably one that was played quite a few times over.
Yeah.
Such a good episode.
When it's like when he like channels into a contest and he's like you'll win this solid gold fiddle. It sounds terrible. And then what's the second prize? Oh, you'll be trapped here for eternity and win this slightly smaller silver fiddle. Like, they always have to go like one stage further with like every joke.
I've signed like and he smashes them over the head with the fiddle as well. So like then there's like oh, what was it? What was he say? He always says something. He doesn't just say run. He's like, oh, I can't
cheese it,
cheese it. That's it.
Cheese it. Yeah.
But I think that's Dan Castellaneta as well, isn't it? Like the robot devil. So like Homer finally makes a little appearance.
Or when Bender does a deal with him and he's like, I need your firstborn. And he's just like, and he's just really cool touching scene where it's like, Papa. And he's like, yes, son. And he just throws him into the fucking fires of hell. He's like, okay. And he's like, damn.
So who? Sammy's done. We've done. Sammy's wet herself, guys. We've finally got pee out of Sam.
Goodwill, pack it in.
Oh my! But yes. So other than Bender, because I know a lot of people are going to say Bender is the favorite character. Who was your favorite character in the show? Oh, silence.
I think mine's got to be just Fry. Like, I don't know, seasons 1 to 4 Fry. I haven't really seen much after that. But no, I just really like how it's just like, I guess like you can relate a bit because he's got all these like outdated references that nobody understands.
Bit of naive innocence to him as well, I think.
But it's all the things that were like super important to us when we were
like now.
We're now Fry's age, basically.
It's still real to me, damn it.
When he unthaws like Pauly Shaw, and then, like just have that whole
why put him back?
Because like Fry's the worst, and like that's the kind of person he would idolize. Like I feel like I was a bit like that as a kid. It was always be like the most annoying thing was the thing I liked.
Yes. What about you, Goodwill?
Out of the main cast, it would have to be the Professor.
Lee's just said the same thing as well.
Was he? Oh,
is he feeding you the content now?
Yeah.
Oh, you probably need the angry dome. That's like that's a invention.
Yeah. Out of the main cast, but I am a sucker for the supporting cast in these types of shows. Like in The Simpsons, it's Professor Frink. And in this, it's like Zach Brannigan, it's Morbo, it's Lur, it's the supporting characters that just make it for me. Like, I don't think there is a character I don't like in Futurama, but for me, it's Professor, because like I said, as the series went on and progressed, he got fleshed out so much more, and he just became like this, instead of just senile, just this really just pissed off, I don't give a shit, I'm just inventing whatever I want, you just give me the money type of characters. And he's just like, quiet you. It's just like everything like that, but I just loved like it's just the scene with Mom, like he doesn't have to say it, he just goes, oh yes, and that's all you need, because he's like, yep, I've done that. But then it's just
he had the sex.
He had the sex, but it's just like every day it's like, good news, everyone, there's bad news on the TV, and it's just stuff like that, because the dialogue might be few and far between, but it was just constantly fucking funny.
I love that little joke where he's like on the telephone, he's like, oh, to shreds, you say, and then he's like, oh, what about his wife? To shreds, you say. It's like a one-sided conversation.
But Wernstrom, his rivalry was just all of it. Wernstrom.
Yeah, it's like Newman. Like it's one of the classic TV rivalries. But yeah, like how he's like I don't know, how old is Professor supposed to be? Like
160 something or something like that.
There was an episode where when he got to 150 or 140,
they were supposed to take him away, like to.
But then they realised that he'd actually put his date of birth wrong on his driver's license, and he was actually 10 years older than he should be.
But I think Wernstrom's like 10 years younger, but they have like this riot, like he's like a hotshot like scientist.
You
like,
hotshot 121-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's great. I just like every time there's like he gets hired like by the government, and then like Farnsworth has to fix it usually.
Oh god,
in a much more stupid way.
When Wernstrom just does the Mr. Burns and he's like, in order to deflect the sun's rays, I've erected this massive screen, and he just ends up like honing the sun's rays into one massive beam and it just cuts a sway through the stadium.
So many different things. What about you, Sammy? What would you say is your favorite?
I love Zoidberg. He's awful, but he's still really cute. But I've got to go with Jake. Like Fry has like the more relatable like kind of thing, like kind of references for me. And he's full of heart. Like in like if you get really down to the nitty gritty of it, he is kind of full of heart.
No, definitely.
But yeah, the chat's shouting out there is Donna and Beth are saying Leela. Sonia is saying Zap
Brannigan.
Yeah.
Come to bed, Leela. It's all velour.
Oh, that time where he sings the Lola parody song about Leela.
Oh, that's right. We still sing that.
Oh, when he does when the ship's,
Leela.
do you know when the ship's cut in half and he's just like the spinning in space, he's just like, I'm hungry like the wolf.
But yeah, like you're right though, because he does like the Shatner like spoken words singing like at the start. Yeah, like Paul's right. He is just like William Shatner.
He's got his own rap album and stuff, probably. But mine is probably because he's looking at us staring in the eyes as Hypnotoad. I can't see anything else. He's telling us what
glory
to do.
To the Hypnotoad.
Glory to the Hypnotoad.
That noise is amazing, though. I love that noise.
But probably, seriously, probably Zoidberg, just because of the situations and his physical comedy as well. I love it when he gets riled up, like when you find out he's the reason that sardines don't exist on the planet as well. Anchovies, sorry. And then Fry gets a tin of anchovies, and you see he's like his mohawk come out, and he gets super aggressive as well. But like as you said, everyone gets the growth and everyone gets their times to shine, but you kind of get like, because he gets shit on so much, when he does something amazing or does something great, it kind of emphasizes it a bit more. So I always enjoy like the Zoidberg infused episodes quite a lot as well. So them what I would suggest is probably my favorite.
When he comes out of his shell, he's horrible though.
When he's like
Nixon as well though.
But when he's
you're gonna shout out to Richard Nixon, the character.
But when he's like going back to the Roswell episode, and they find him and they've got him in the box and stuff, and Eisenhower's like interrogating him, and then like the cutting him open and pulling stuff out, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot I had 5 of those," and it's just physical comedy that I think that's where I get from. But like other side characters, like, and this is probably no surprising to anyone else, is the 80s guy. Like I absolutely adore that episode. Hey Fry, I'm an 80s guy. We're just gonna do it. And then he's got the best closing line for any character ever. He's like, I regret that I had bonitis.
Yeah, he forgot to get it cured.
Yes,
after everything.
But yeah, the 80s guy episode was just brilliant when he's like proper 80s style now, Planet Express, where a delivery company isn't about deliveries, it's about image and perception and stuff like that. And again, that was so 80s that it was
so 80s.
It's so now.
Yuppie 80s.
But
Filofax and big phones.
And then they do the fucking Apple commercial from 1984.
Yeah, when he throws it through the screen.
When he just throws the box through the screen.
Throws out a mom. Like,
I think they've parodied that in The Simpsons as well. That must have really imprinted on like Matt when he was like growing up.
It's like I just hate Windows. Those the Microsoft.
Well,
bastards.
There was always that, wasn't it? There was always that Windows jab, wasn't there, all the way through. And then I love the part where Bender inherits the castle. And it's just like all these ghosts. They're not ghosts. They're just projected off this 56K modem, and then he's chased down the hallway by the Windows logo.
Yeah, is that the where car episode?
Yes, it's the where cars. Yeah.
To be honest with you, that was probably where I'd first seen like the intro to like, because it's basically like the intro to Dracula, isn't it? Like, then the do werewolf stuff. That was probably the first place I saw that whole approach the town and be like, don't go to the castle, that type of thing.
That is actually based on a movie about a werecar, and it's not Christine. It's literally, it's from the 90s, and I can't remember the life of me, but the movie, the car that they use in Futurama is like for like to use. And but I just love that when they go to like the left turn signal from Hitler's Mercedes, the windscreen wipers off Charles Manson's bus, and
then it's like, but isn't it something from like Knight Rider? And then like it didn't really come up in the series, but like
it didn't really come up. Like
he wasn't like evil.
The steering wheel from Knight Rider. He wasn't evil, yes, but he was a dick.
No, so it's like the same steering wheel was. It didn't come up much in the show.
Cool. But no, I think with a lot of this show as well, I know what Jake said about the like there weren't movies per se, they're like the feature length episodes that came out with DVD was after it got cancelled. But what they did well with them, when they realised the length of them didn't quite work, they cut them up into individual episodes and had them kind of going off like their own like seasons. So that's why if you watch them now, they work a lot better and they feel a lot better. They feel a little bit more organic than, like, say, the feature length episodes that were gone back. So I would probably recommend as well to go back and give it a chance, just to like see that them things that might not have worked for you when you originally watch them again, because I know they're all on Disney Plus as well now.
But even like all Futurama's on Disney Plus now. But like Sky One just constantly, it's rerun constantly on Sky One, and then if you watch them as like an hour and a half, they don't really, like, the cliffhangers that they have don't really pay off. But if you watch it as a 24-minute show, like the bit where Fry goes to that tear in space and then the eye opens, that's a good cliffhanger. But when you're watching it as an hour and a half movie, you're just like, and you get bored of it all the way through, because it is Futurama. Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to ask, is it because it's a format that you're not used to having that length of time? Like, you're used to 24 minutes and not an hour and a half?
It's like, for me personally, I think it was because like it felt like they ended the series perfectly with that season 4, the Devil's Hands or Idle Play things. Yeah. Where basically you had like the basic combination of like the Fry and Leela love story, where at the end they were like, it was still a will they, won't they, but they were in like the best place they've been. And it's like, okay, I don't need to see Fry and Leela get together. It was fine as a like a running thing. And I think like I was like ready to jump off. And then when I saw like the weird movie with the weird skinless alien people, I was just
the scammers.
I don't know. But like, I think like it would have been okay to end it there. But if Goodwill's saying he's like, had joy out of the future episodes, like I'm glad it continued if it had some more steam. I think I was ready to jump off, but I've still got like massively like fond feelings of like the first 4 seasons. Like it didn't retroactively ruin anything.
Oh no, and how are you feeling about, as you said, because we've talked about a little bit how it's coming back? Are you excited? Is it in like a little bit of trepidation to say, oh, is it gonna like work and stuff? Because I know some shows, when they continue going on and on and on and on and on and on, like we've mentioned the Simpsons episodes now, where the Simpsons isn't wrote for us anymore. And that's quite evident, like with the jokes and like the styling and for all, like, say, I don't get the Simpsons anymore, which is probably the most old man thing I'll say on the episode on this episode.
It'll happen
old
to
man
you.
Yells at cloud.
Yes, but I'm hoping that they still keep the standard up, but I wouldn't be sad if it's for a new generation, because I think it's quite nice that we got what we got. Yeah. And if someone else can get something different or something new from it, and like say bring them into like something different from pop culture, or like elements where they can relate or become a fan. That's the thing, become a fan, and that's all you want from people these days. As hard it is, because I know the easiest thing to do on the internet is to say this is shit, or this is I don't get this, or I don't like this type thing. But if it's not meant for you, it's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I like that idea though, that it's like kind of a new entry point for newer fans, for your newer generation to come in. Because if you look at how far back are we, like nearly 20 years later, are the generation of now going to get our references as well as what we like,
get Fry's 90s references?
Yeah.
Get our Goonie references. I'll just put the picture back up for the guys apart from. So the Goonies are live.
It did take us a long time though to get them references. Like, are they going to get them straight away? So I like the idea that there's a new entry point for someone. Have you put that picture back up?
I'll put it back up for a second there. It's back. It's
gone
away.
So yeah, like I'm not excited in the slightest, but like if it like sounds like it's good, like I'll give it a chance. But like I think it's just because like we've all probably had those moments where we've been burned before, like or had like success stories. Like the only thing I can remember that was like still good when it came back was like when they did like a new season of like Beavis and Butthead.
I heard really good things about that.
Yeah, I think it was still on like MTV at the time, so it's a little hard to like watch if you actually want to. And again, very of its time because they were watching like Jersey Shore clips instead of like music videos. But like it was still funny. And I think like as long as people can still write jokes, like that stuff works no matter who's what the sort of But I don't know.
I think
I'll check it out if Goodwill says it's good.
We'll get Goodwill's approval first.
I think what they'll, because I agree, but I think with Futurama there's more, because it's not constantly been on for 35 goddamn years.
True.
There is going to be that reverence of an established base that remembers Futurama fondly, and I think they can act on that whilst bringing in new people, whilst commenting on modern tropes, modern issues like NFTs and stuff like that. Do it in a way, because that's what sci-fi is at the end of the day. It's a comment on modern situations in a setting that is so far removed from it that it's easy to discuss them. So
I can't wait to the future Star Trek episode to talk about when they used to use TikTok.
Well, Christ, Strange New Worlds last year referenced the Ukrainian war.
All right.
So that was like super goddamn like on the nose. I mean, they mentioned Elon Musk at one point, but I don't think they should mention that one. But he was from the Mirror Universe, so yeah, it tracks. But with Futurama, they always, like I said, they always took modern things, but then took a year 3000 or like a 31st century spin on it. So they could totally say something about NFTs and just say, yeah, it was only morons that did it and whatever. But they can always put their commentary on that. So they are making a comment on it, but doing it in the context of this is 1,000 years in the future, and this is what people would probably think if they weren't there. And like the episode where they go to ye olde New York, and it's like, come see the car. And it's like, it ran on dinosaur juice and stuff like that. And like Fry, like he did with the moon, he's like, that's not what it was. That's not what that was. And it's like, oh, that looks like a public restroom. Well, it's a telephone, but it smells like a public restroom. It is. And it's like stuff like, it's stuff like, and I think out of all of them, like Disenchanted and stuff like that, I think Futurama stands in a good stead to win new people over, but also keep the existing ones happy. Well, they did when it went back to Fox after they did the DVDs. They did that because they went on for a good few more years.
Oh yeah, like 11 seasons. Like I didn't think it was 11 seasons. I'll be honest. There's probably been episodes I haven't watched, But
I've caught bits and pieces, but it's never been something where I've like sat and went like, "Oh, I'll have to watch this season because it seems good again." I don't know.
I think instead of, because if you look at the episode list for Future, like how many episodes per season, like season 1 was 9, season 2 was 20, and then like 3 was 12, 4 was 14. It just really weird numbers all the way. But I think if they just say we're going to do 10 episodes, that's fine, because they don't need to worry about filling a lot of these. They can sort of focus on that and pack them out and stuff. Whereas The Simpsons, like, you need to do 22 episodes this year, fucking do it. And it's sort of like, that's why The Simpsons, like, how many episodes is that now? Like 800, 900 episodes or something like that.
How many good episodes, shall we say?
But imagine just like trying to come up with new stories for each episode. Whereas with Futurama, you can distill that into smaller runs. Because look at the sci-fi that's come out since it ended in 2013.
Definitely. True.
There's so much that they could parody. There's so many current issues that they can parody as well. So I'm very much looking forward to it, but I'm cautiously optimistic. Yeah, well, cautiously optimistic because,
I'll wait for your approval.
Well, the seal of approval, the goodwill.
Oh yeah, like you basically just unearthed like the vague memory of Disenchanted. Like that just totally felt like a nothing TV show. Like I think I watched about 6 episodes and I couldn't really tell you anything about it. It just didn't have like any spark, if that makes sense. Like it
had a story, but it was like very mediocre. And there was no laugh out loud. Like with Futurama, you have laugh out loud moments. With The Simpsons, you have laugh out loud. With this, it was sort of like, and that was it. And it was very Netflix in that sort of thing. So it's like, oh, you've got this cliffhanger, and then you go back to like the next part, and you're like, I remember nothing about this show. That's how good it is. It's forgettable.
It's a weird one for sure.
No, that's right. Would you be sad if they did that? Like as you said, with the Futurama coming back, I know they probably will focus on the main cast again, but would you be sad if, as you said, they went something different and focused on some lesser known characters, or even brought some new ones into the play, and like Futurama, like the cast of Planet Express is just a side parody? I think again, I would be interested in, because I think there's only so much you can get out of the same characters or the same things, because we've been pretty much a lot through them through the time, and it's rather than like going back through The Simpsons or going through Family Guy where you're telling the same joke and you're doing the same thing over and over again. You don't want it to become a parody of itself, if that makes sense.
I mean, creativity is it's the mother of invention, and I think with Futurama, out of all of them, it has the most potential to do that. Because
you don't want it to be repetitive. That's the thing.
No, you don't. But it's got a world that it can explore. You could do, I wouldn't say series. I would say you could do little anthology miniseries. The Adventures of Zach Brannigan.
Love a bit of anthology.
The Adventures of Zach Brannigan. Or you could have like the First Planet Express crew, or a young. You could do all that, but it's would
basically what Star Trek's doing now, shall we say? That's the thing. The Star Trek's not doing now as always done type thing.
Yeah, but it's exploring the world, but the writing has to be there to allow that.
100%.
Because side characters can be funny and can be enjoyable, but they might not be fun and enjoyable when they are fully fleshed out.
Or 24/7, like having like a full episode.
Would you want a Professor Frink series from The Simpsons?
Depends.
Young Frink.
Are they going to give you
introducing mom in the early years? I could get on board.
Oh, of course you would, you thirsty bitch. But it's more.
You mentioned the word mama, I'm there.
Oh, yes.
But yeah.
Walt's give me my tab.
And the two said, "Why is mommy looking naked?"
3 horrible sons are like the 3 Stooges.
Yeah.
I've got to say, Goodwill is the winner of tonight's episode with these impressions because they've just been fucking brilliant.
Oh, I didn't know we had winners of every
I
episode.
don't know.
Oh God,
That's
Were to be winners,
I've got a non-compete clause.
if there were to be
you
winners,
have a contract?
You.
Wait, what?
They're
Yes.
Paul's friendly podcasting company.
What?
Friendly?
All the residuals gone.
Just make sure you sign the non-disclosure forms. That's all okay.
A non-dick amendment, yeah. The
Goodwill.
sorry. Anyway, but no, like it Futurama is that out of all of them, yeah, because you would never. I know they have toyed with it a lot in the past about having a spin-off of The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
That would not work. The
They've
Cleveland
done an
show-
episode, haven't they? Though they've done a spin. They've done a Futurama Simpsons.
Oh, they had a
spin-off.
crossover.
The crossover
yeah,
episode, yeah.
They had a crossover, but as in a spin-off. I mean, all
Yeah,
you
it
have
was like
to do
a
is look
10-second thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
no, it was a full episode,
Mhm.
a full
Oh, okay. And
Futurama.
we have the loop now.
Yeah, it was actually the
Because there was an episode of The Simpsons and an episode of Futurama.
yes, I think it
But
was.
the
Yeah,
part in The Simpsons where Bender just ended up in the car with Homer and Bart or something. They went through a weird portal, and then
Bender
Bender
doing the
didn't really
telephone.
make. And then Bender didn't really make a Bender joke, and then he was gone. And like that was like newsworthy back then. It was like we waited all day for this.
it was like like the first reference to another Matt Groening thing was like,
Yeah.
there was a telethon and it was like PBS and it was like Bender in the background taking calls and Rupert Murdoch was like, "Give me your money," and that was like the first crossover for that. But I couldn't imagine out of all of them a spin-off of The Simpsons. I would imagine more of a spin-off of Futurama. But again,
Yeah.
it would just have to be done right or
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
limited season.
No, definitely.
I think people hate that though because they're like the fans will be like, well, now I have to get invested in the Hermes Conrad series, and it's like, well, you don't have to, and also they don't have
Adventures
to
of the
do
bureaucrat.
it. Yeah, like I think it should be
how we become the limbo queen, king. Sorry.
It should be
Boy
okay
needs a husband.
to have like a spin-off episode where like it doesn't have to always be the cast, but yeah. Fandoms are weird. Like I don't know how you keep them happy.
You can't. That's the thing. I think that's what people just need to enjoy what they enjoy, and like if something doesn't work for you, there's more stuff out there and you can
Just
move
stop
on
watching
to.
it.
But yeah,
It's insane how little it takes to angry a fan base,
yeah.
and it's laughable.
No, it's not. It's very
laughable.
easy. It is. Oh, it's totally 100% laughable.
But yes. So I think that'll be quite a nice way to end the episode there, just to say like about fandoms being weird. So
Before we start naming names out there, I see you all in the chat.
Yeah, before we start getting into some really heavy debating.
But yes,
Fucking you, Disney.
I say Disney is a dick. No, I didn't mean that. Disney, give me your money. Buy me out.
Right, Murdoch.
But yes, so that was our Futurama talk. I don't think it'll be our last Futurama talk because it will pop up on future episodes as well.
Yeah,
Next week's episode of the Nerdy Up North podcast on the Sunday, I'll be honest with you guys now, won't be live because we are going to be social. We are going to be recording this on Tuesday, I believe, where me and Sammy are going to be discussing the groundbreaking and very ahead of its time Roger Rabbit, which when it came out,
we're gonna do a retro review / talk.
yes.
The inferior Space Jam, as I like to call it.
Well, you wouldn't have.
Well, you
Space
could
Jam.
have come on and you could have said your point, but you didn't want to.
He said his point now. That's all he's mattered. That's all he's having. He's made his point. That's all he'd be saying throughout. Well, it hasn't got R. Kelly singing weird songs and stuff.
Oh wait, hang on.
There's
Don't
no
take the
bunnies
piss.
in this. Oh, actually, there was bunnies in it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there was
Yes,
there's a third party.
There's a
cake.
one bunny, that made a big splash at the time.
Splash.
But yes.
Yes. Sunday's
so-
episode's not live because we actually have a life and we are going to go out.
Yeah, so don't talk to the video as if we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I will be. I'll be saying, "How do you feel about this, Lee?" Beth, what are you eating tonight?
And we'll just do like a pause and like wait, like
Yeah.
That's very interesting what you're saying there. Yeah,
Oh,
type that shit down.
sounds amazing, guys.
And if you all remember, Monday at 7:00, we have Monsters Up North. It is all about the Wolfman, and me and Dan are joined by Graham. I'm not going to lie to you guys; it is very, very funny episode. So please come and join. I'll be there at 7:00. Hopefully, I'll be on time. I'm at work tomorrow and in the office, so I'm hoping to get back for 7.
What is Goodwill and Jake up to this week then? The little ragamuffins.
Oh, I have no idea because I'm going to London Comic Con later in the week, so we might have to have a hiatus on a lot of streams and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to be messing about, spending too much money. Basically, I just treat it like a big shopping holiday.
Yeah.
Jake will be our London correspondent.
If my phone
Michael
holds
will
up.
be our Newcastle one.
You will see me and Paul at Newcastle Comic Con, and we're like, and now over to Jake in London. Jake, everyone's southern in this smell. Thank you, Jake. Moving on.
Oh well, you've just ruined our joke now. But no, like
I haven't anymore.
We've been having loads of fun on the Twitch though. Like we did just launch our multiplayer The Terrible Game Players series.
Excellent.
So we had a little bit of a pirate outing in Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
So there'll definitely be more of that. And we checked a bit of Zelda out. It's all on the archives on this very channel.
Cool. Goodwill, what have you got planned? You will be live on Friday, I believe.
I will be sat in my chair crying my eyes out. No, I...
Is this the after hours thing that you and Donna keep on threatening us with?
Yes,
Is it actually happening?
Me and Donna after hours are just sat there crying in front of a fire. Yeah.
Everyone needs lubrication for something.
Me and
Stay on target. Stay on target.
Hold up. Me and Graham are reviewing a Next Generation episode called Future Imperfect. So you can join us live finally after 3 weeks of being recorded on different days. We will be live, able to talk to the rest of you fellow humans. loosely called humans. So 7:30 Friday, me and Graham will be here. I do have plans in the pipework, but I'm not going to share anything at all.
Oh.
Keep them secret. Keep them safe.
Wish.
Sounds something dirty, something rude. But yes,
eyebrows.
I'd say we have got a few things going forward as well. Again, in the next few weeks, we are going to be doing a few actual recent movie reviews. So I think the first one we hope we'll see how it goes, is going to be for the Spider-Verse 2, where we are going to actually go at the cinema and see the movie and tell you what we thought about the movie. So that's going to be coming out soon as well.
We're going to try and be shit hot on movie reviews and try and see if we can do that continuously for a long period of time. That's the plan.
Yes.
Someone's got an alternate card.
Yeah,
We're going to do shit hot takes.
Hot takes
about once a month.
recent movies. We're not going to do what we've done in the past, where we've talked about movies that have come out, or even TV shows that have come out 6 months after.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about the Mandalorian episode again.
I still enjoy that episode. Go back and watch it. It was hilarious, but still fun.
It was better than the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
wow, let's end this.
Not as good as Andor.
So I think in the next few weeks we've got top 5 comic book characters coming up. We've got Pokemon. We've got Labyrinth.
Thank God I'm not here.
And then don't forget, guys, you're going to actually see us live in person, in the flesh, where you can actually lick a Goodwill at SunnyCon. So everyone who's got the tickets, remember we're going to be live on the Sunday. So and like I say, you get to touch us and ask us really questions like, has Goodwill ever been licked, or what do you taste like?
Would you like, or would you, what could we offer in order for you to lick Goodwill? Anyways, hopefully this time I won't have my heart broken at SunnyCon. I'm just putting this out there. Don't do it.
Don't do what?
Don't do what you did last year. That was evil and awful and horrible.
It's funny.
Shut up, you. People are going to lick you while we're there.
No, I'm going to hire a stunt double.
Oh my god, that would be so creepy. Like, do you think we would notice?
And you have to have like proper full-on frosted tips, like exaggerated tips.
It'd be like the Shelbyville Millhouse, like,
Goodwill and Stuntwill.
And I go, what do you think? Goodwill? It's just Guy Fieri having a burger on the table in the corner. To say,
I think we're doing top 3 cartoons as well, I believe.
Yes, we're doing cartoons. We're keeping it. We're gonna bring the Sunday show to a live audience. That's the idea. We're gonna try and pull it off. We don't know. We will see.
If you heckle us, we'll fight you in person.
We'll set Goodwill on you.
No, we'll set Badwill on you. That'll be the one.
Yeah, you'll not get Goodwill. You'll get Badwill.
How many gimmicks has this guy got?
Quite
too many.
Too many. But yes, so thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for putting up with us. And thank you, Jake. Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you for being a star and forever. And like I say, the beautiful Sammy looks lovely as usual. Not as much boob on show as last week. Hopefully next week we can improve on that.
You never know.
Improve.
So same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow.